Alrighty, good morning everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Another day of winter bass fishing, and let me just say this, shout out to all you guys in the north, or really anywhere where it's too cold to fish or it's just frigid temperatures, iced over bodies of water. I know that cabin fever is probably setting in pretty hard right now and you're just dreaming of that season opener. So shout out to you guys. We really can't complain being out here in California when it's cold or the fishing's tough, because we can at least still go fishing. That being said, weather of course out here has been interesting. You guys have probably known that California's been hit with a lot of storms, a lot of rain, a lot of much needed rain, and a lot of our reservoirs are filling up, which is amazing. But it was interesting driving out from the bay today to this area and seeing some of the effects of all that rain, some of the flooding. Makes driving a little suspicious, but nothing too crazy, just have to go a little bit slower. But anyways, today we are at Lake Camanche, a body of water that historically has treated me pretty rough. I'd say of all bodies of water in California collectively that I've fished over the past 5 years, this is the one that's fished the hardest to get bites, hardest to get quality. But the reason I'm here, and really the reason I'm trying a lot of these reservoirs this winter, this January and February, is to really see how this rain, all this water affects the fishing. Now, we went to Lake Orville in our last trip, a lake that has gone up like 100 feet in a month, and the fishing wasn't that good. We found one bank with some crankbait fish, shallow, which we were hoping, but it was a tough bite. It wasn't like that all over the lake. It was spot specific. I don't know if that water had just come up too fast and those fish just hadn't adjusted yet, but we'll see how it is here at Lake Camanche. Again, water's up. I think it's about 75% full pool, which is great considering last year it was like 50, and it's a totally different fishery now. Things that were above water are now back underwater. Some of actually my favorite islands previously in years past are now underwater. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's still too early for these fish to adjust, to maybe get up shallower. I can say with a lot of confidence, I think the spring will be fantastic fishing, but again, it is winter. I'm not exactly sure what they will be doing today, but of course, that's the whole point of fishing, is learning, trying to figure stuff out, trying to get out of pattern. And that's honestly one of my favorite things about fishing, is the puzzle. You know, you always love those days where you go out and you just whack fish. I think everybody can say that, but there is something rewarding about a tough fishery, a tough bite in the winter, and figuring out exactly what you need to do to get bit, or at least a piece of that, and having some success. So I know it's going to be tough out there. We're going to have to figure something out. We'll try some of our old spots, try some new spots, fish shallow, fish deep. We got 9 rods, starting lineup. We got 2 finesse rods, we got a drop shot, then we got a little top spin, we've got a spinner bait, we've got a medium diving flat-sided crankbait, we've got a medium diving money badger crankbait, we've got an Alabama rig, we've got a Ned Jig, we've got a blade bait, and we have a big old 8-inch Huddleston. You guys know this, I'm not a swim baiter, I never claimed to be, but they did just plant, I believe, 1,000 pounds of trout in this particular body of water a few days ago. So no, we're not going to throw the Huddleston all day, but as we say sometimes, we'll give it a toss on a juicy looking point. It's like playing the lottery. You don't expect to win, but you can't win if you don't buy a ticket, so who knows. It is about 7:30. We are going to launch the kayak, spend probably 7 or 8 hours out here and see if we can get on some fish. A winter day of fishing on a rising Lake Camanche. Well, might as well get fishing. Start with a crankbait, some moving stuff. Water clarity is not chocolate milk, but it's definitely a little dirty. Maybe 1-2 foot visibility right here, which I think will actually help the bite. This place is so used to being crystal clear from when I fished it that maybe less visibility will make these fish bite better. Got one. Oh my god, the crank worked. It didn't take long at all. I brought the net today too, just so I didn't have to worry about the trebles. I can see him fighting on the graph. What do we got here? What do we got? Spotted bass. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, coming off. I got him hooked good. Dude. Oh man, that's a chunker. That's a chunker. Dude, this crankbait is so good. Or it's been the winter bait of choice for me this year so far. 2 trips. Again, can't say for sure with 1 bite, but to get another one on the crankbait, it's a pattern. That's a fat one. Nice chunky winter spotted bass. Pretty shallow, 10 to 15. Nice. Thank you, sir. Alright, I like that. Now, I know you guys are going to think I'm silly, but let me tell you, the last trip, this was the only bait that worked for me, and we lost it. Luckily, at the end of the day, I had one left. I had one left at home, and this was it. I made an order, it's just not here yet, so we just can hope that this one lasts as long as it possibly can. I've got other crankbaits, you know, in similar depths, colors and whatnot, so we do have other crankbaits, but man, it's just like when you get bit on a certain bait, you just get that extra bit of confidence you need to keep throwing it. I didn't realize jackrabbits were so fast. How do they get out on this island? Maybe they just live out here? I'm getting stressed out with all this rising water. Wow. That's going on the blooper reel, I think. Yeah. That's not good. Not good at all. God, I might have to go to the shore to get this one undone. Jeez Louise, how the heck did I do that? Oh my gosh. Legitimately gonna have to go to the dang shore to get that one out. Go to the rabbit island. How crazy would it be if we saw one up shallow? I mean, I don't think it's gonna happen. I wouldn't expect it to happen, but God, you never know. What a freaking mess this is. How did I do that? What a mess. Golly. How does this even happen? Screw it, don't even care. It's not worth the headache, we're just cutting the bait. When in doubt, cut her. Okay, let's try not to do that again. Man, 9:41. Got bit so quick. I was thinking that was a really good sign, but clearly we've covered some water. Threw that crankbait, mixed in a few other baits, and still sitting on one fish, one bite. This could be just like Orville, where we just covered a ton of water to get the bites we did. There's one spot in particular last time. I don't know if we're gonna have that same fortune today and run across a spot where we can pick off a few fish. It might be a fish here and there. If that, I mean, God, I hope one bite's not all we get all day, but you just don't know. There we go, jigfish. I felt that one. Yeah, buddy. There's another shallow one. That one was in probably 12, 13. Okay, Ned Jig. Old Ned Jig. All right, number 2. Another shallow fat one. That gives me a little confidence. You guys can probably tell, I mean, the last 2 videos, including today, weather's been beautiful, but that's not by accident. I'm picking the days to go out, the nicer, fair weather fisherman kind of days. You just don't know after these lakes get throttled with storms and rain, after it settles down the next day, like a day like this, what that does to the fish. I mean, they could have been on the absolute chew during the storms. Clearly I didn't come out, and probably not the best idea this time of year, but you never know the day after, especially with rising water, the lake gets a little murkier. You kind of worry that they just might shut off. They're not completely shut off today. There we go. There we go. Same spot we caught the other one. Feels good. Man, these are good fish today. Oh god, it's a big one. It's a big one. Oh, dang. Oh man, look at that one right there. It's the exact same spot we caught the other one with a jig. Oh, I thought it was bigger than that. It looks so much bigger in the water. Yeah, whatever, I'll take them. Old Ned Jig. We'll see if this is our bank. It's 2 fish off the same 50-yard stretch. On a jig though, not on the crank. Maybe they're a little bit more bottom oriented. Shallow though, you know? I'd say both 10 to 12 foot. One thing I've learned considering last trip and this trip is whether it's the rising water or not, there are shallow fish to be had right now. You just gotta find them. It's just a jig deal, I don't know. Wow, it is a jig deal. Oh my god. Does he still have it? Oh my god. Wow, I goofed that up. I forgot to change my drag back and I got bit. Dang fish spit it. Wow. Man, I've had some pretty good fails today. Might have to do a blooper reel for 2023 at this rate. Oh. They're here. They're here on this bank. Sweet. And they want the Ned Jig. And they're good quality fish. Oh. They're shallow. Oh, that's a big spot, man. That's a big one. For real, for real. Yeah, buddy. Oh, yeah. I guess I just need to fish Camanche in the winter. Nice one. Beautiful. Another fat one. Well, 3 fish in the same little stretch, so we're gonna fish it for a little bit longer, I'd say, and then maybe move on, but we're gonna make a couple of passes through here for sure. 3 fish, same bank, 10 to 12 foot on the Ned Jig. I will take it. And I know I'm just rubbing it in right now to you northerners or the guys that can't fish. I'm sorry, I apologize. I'm feeling every one of these bites too. They're thumping it, dragging it uphill, kind of like Shasta. I think that these fish are moving up. I mean, they're not ultra shallow, but relative to how they normally would set up, maybe in 40, 50 foot this time of year, 12, 15 foot's pretty shallow. And I think they are just fish coming up and checking it out, checking things out, rooting around. I don't know, we say that all the time, making up stories as to why fish are here or there, why they're biting a certain thing. I think it makes us feel better as fishermen when we can explain it. Put a fresh one on. Fresh Ned Jig. Taking a little General Green Pumpkin watermelon on that finesse jig that we like. See how much we're biting off. Not too much. Maybe a 1/4 inch, not even. 3/8 of an inch. Putting a new one on. Nice stinky one. Thread her on. The only thing that I did modify to this particular jig is I trimmed a little bit of the skirt. That's it. That's a Ned Jig. So far it's the winning bait of the day. And I will not pass up a jig bite. It's kind of like Orville. Big main lake point. I mean, you can see right there. There's the creek channel. There's that big main lake point, and they just, you'd imagine, slid up onto it as that water kept creeping up. So weird. Well, it's not weird, but it's like the exact same thing at Orville. If I were to replicate the 2 same things on both bodies of water, it'd be real close. All right, an area that we got 4 bites out of. All decent fish, not giants, but maybe I read some of your minds. If they're biting jig, why not? Time to play the lottery. Turn around, have this thing going up current. Keep it as natural as possible. drag it on the bottom. Fish it kind of like a jig. It was worth a few tosses. Wonder if any big giant bass actually saw it. I promise there will be a day we'll just throw big swim baits. That's not today. I just want to get bit today. Huh, no more bites. Let's let the spot rest. See a few more points in the distance that we can hit, see if there's any fish on them, and then we'll definitely hit the spot on the way back. Oh, what the hell? That almost fell on my kayak? Oh my god, look at what just came up. Holy smokes. Oh my. That was a giant something. Oh my god, I think maybe it picked it up, the GoPro. I knew I got bit. It like didn't hit the bottom though. What the heck was that? Maybe it was a trout. Finally. Oh my god, I knew they had to be over here somewhere. Yeah, same thing though. Main lake point next to the main river channel. Oh, pretty good one. Whoa, that's a really fat one. Is that a largemouth? I don't know what this is. Oh, dude, look how fat that spot is. Oh my goodness. Look at that spot. That is actually a football. I know we call big bass footballs, but that's like the dimensions of an actual football. Oh my goodness. Well, we're not getting a lot of bites today, but it seems like they're overall better quality. That's definitely big fish of the year. Yeah, I think it is big fish of the year. Definitely weight-wise. Man, look at the gut. Oh, nice. All right, finally. Went a long time without a bite. Dang. Not another fish off the spot? That's surprising. I thought after that one we'd at least get another one. Might just be timing, luck. Luck meaning casting up on a point when there's actually a fish that's moved up on it. They might come up and move right back down for all we know. It's hard to say. Let's go across the lake, finish up at a couple more spots, and we'll probably call her a day. Same spot. Yeah, it's dragging her uphill. Another nice one. Man, these fish are nice. Baby. Fat winter bass. Thank you, sir. This is a good spot right here. That's, I think, 5 bites and 4 fish off this one island, or point. Surprised the other one didn't have more fish though. It's like the exact same thing. They're eating it good though. I felt every single one of these bites. Got one. Oh, yeah. Man, that feels good. I almost want to like stay off the spot. They all feel so good. That might be real good. Oh, it's net worthy, whatever it is. Another fatty. Oh, how fat these fish are, man. They almost look like largemouth. They're so fat. I was just saying I could feel every single bite. That's one I didn't feel. I think I popped it out of a rock and it just sucked it in, slowly dragging it uphill. Oh my god, golly, that one popped to a rock too. Jeez Louise, feels like we're fighting lingcod. Oh gosh, another giant. Dude, that's a real big one actually. That's a big fish of the day. Oh my god, these are spots and they are built like largemouth. I like this bait. Oh, we got a slow drag uphill. That is the ticket. Another nice one. Man, oh man. What a day. What a day. Maybe I do like winter fishing. No, it's not as nice as the other ones, but still quality. Keeper. I think we've kind of figured this spot out. Not hard. I'm just casting out into like 20-25 foot and slowly creeping this Ned Jig uphill. I don't know why they're eating it better when it goes uphill. It's just like Shasta. I really can't explain it. I've made casts from out there dragging it out deep and I haven't really had any bites. It seems like every bite's been uphill, either on the dead stick or when it pops out of a rock. Oh my god. I want them to spit something up. I wonder what they're eating to make them so big. Crawfish? Bait? Trout? Yeah, these are a little too small for trout eaters, I assume, but just fatties. Just fatties. You know what's interesting too is I'm not really seeing a lot of fish on the graph. Like I haven't really marked a lot of fish today. Kind of wondering if these fish in particular are buried in some of these bigger rocks you can see that we're dragging through. They just might be hiding in the crevices and that jig goes by or jig just sits there. They come and smoke it. Man, oh man, this spot was good to us. 3 o'clock. Seems like it may have cooled off, but gosh, over the course of the day, got 8 fish off of it doing the exact same thing. Probably got about an hour left to fish. Definitely stayed a little bit longer than I thought I was gonna stay, but hey, when you're getting on fish, hard to leave. So I think what we'll do is we'll hit a couple more spots on the way back to the ramp, some points off the main channel, see if we can replicate something like this, and then we'll call it. But woo, solid so far. Solid day. Oh! Wow, broke me. Got a lot of money's worth out of that jig. Ripped the hook right off. That's actually the first time that's ever happened to me. Huh, be a good practice bait. Get a little haircut. Not too much of a haircut, just a little haircut. That's the money. There we go. Got that one. Man. Thank you, sir. Highly doubt that was the same fish I missed that got the other jig. But same cast. Point right off the main channel. A lot of fun. This may be one of the best winter bites I've ever gotten on. Come on. One for the road. One for the road. I know, I'm getting greedy. Yes! Ooh. God, they all feel so big on that hook set. Right where we're supposed to be. What's going on here? He's fighting weird. He's fighting like he's a monster. That's supposed to be good. Dude, how about that to end the day? Ooh, we'd have a heck of a kayak bag today. These are some long fish too. Man, oh man. That's just lovely. Thank you, sir. Alrighty folks, just about 5 o'clock. The sun is setting and that is going to do it for our day out on Lake Camanche. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I could be wrong, but that may have been the best winter or January bass fishing trip I've ever had as far as quality and quantity. I think we ended up with 11 or 12 fish all day, mainly on that jig, but as we said at the beginning of this video, it's a body of water that has more often than not been tough to us, where I've particularly never gotten on numbers, and then the size has always been lacking too. I actually don't think I've caught a fish over 5 pounds in this body of water. And trust me, there are a lot of fish over 5 pounds. But yeah, this morning didn't know what to expect. All we know is that this lake has gone up just like every other reservoir out here in California, which I think is a good thing. Even though it's January, still you don't know exactly what's going to happen. Used a little bit of Orville game plan, fished main lake, started out with that money badger, that medium diving crankbait. Water clarity out there was dingy, still about 1 to 2 foot of visibility for the most part. And I don't think it took long to get bit on that crankbait. Maybe the first 10 minutes of fishing it off the main lake on a point, big old chunky spot, came up and smoked it. I thought that was a really good sign to start the day. I thought maybe it would be just like Orville, and that if we made enough casts, covered enough water, we'd find a good stretch of fish on that crankbait and maybe get some size in the mix too. We kept throwing that thing and nothing. Started to lose confidence with that crankbait, so we went to the old trusty Ned Jig, which is basically a finesse jig and a little general as a trailer, something that I've actually caught fish here before on. And we went with the smaller Ned Jig trailer because, like I said, a lot of storms, and today clearly not storming. Post frontal, I had a feeling that the fish may be finicky, and a smaller profile, something with less action, could be the ticket. That in combination with history and catching fish on that bait before, that's why we had it tied on. And on one particular point, we threw that Ned Jig up in about 15 foot of water on a main lake point right off the main channel. Got bit, another solid fish, worked that area a little bit longer, ended up catching a couple more nice fish, fat chunky spotted bass, but a nice little sign maybe they were in the mood for a jig, a Ned Jig, something on the bottom. Tried a few more areas that looked similar, again main lake points, and nothing. Thinking about 12:30, we crossed the lake, we fished another big main lake point. We got one really nice one, which I think was the big fish of the day. That spotted bass may not have been the longest fish of the day, but I'd say pound for pound, that thing had a belly shirt on it. That was a true football, so that was nice to get in the boat. I think that's about number 5 at this point. After a little while longer, didn't get a single bite off that point, so we jammed back to the first area where we caught 3 of our jig fish. And I don't know if it was the time of day or just letting that area rest, but we got right in a hurry. We caught, I think, 3 or more nice spotted bass off that spot. I cannot emphasize this enough. I absolutely love a jig bite. When you feel that tick, when you feel that thump, and you set back and you feel that rod bend over, that is like one of the best fishing feelings in the world. And we got to do that quite a bit today. I don't know, conservatively, I'd say as far as kayak length today, we probably had like a mid 80s, maybe even a high 80s bag. And I'd say probably anywhere between 14 and maybe 16 pounds weight wise. So definitely my best day ever on Lake Camanche, and like I mentioned, maybe our best day of fishing in the winter ever as well. But guys, that is the video for today. As always, I thank you guys for watching, for coming along, and I will catch you guys in the next one.